everybody, Chris Cavallaro here with the Sig Sauer Academy. We're going to go over mounting optics onto your rifles. So for this, I'm going to use the Sig Sauer 716. This one's chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. We're also going to mount on a Tango 6 scope, the 1:30. So a whole bunch of ways of getting this done. And this is typically the way I teach to my students in our Precision Scope Rifle 1 class. I would highly recommend you do this yourself. A lot of people send off their guns to different places, Cabela's, Kittery's, etc., to have people mount their scopes for you, and that's an option. However, you need to understand that they are mounting that scope for them and not for you. People see things differently. Eye boxes are measured way differently between different people, so I highly recommend you do this. So just like always, make sure you clear out your gun before you do anything to it. So checky both visually and physically. Make sure it's completely clear, both magazine well and bolt face and chamber. We're good here. It's on safe. To get this process started, what we're going to do is just very loosely mount your scope onto whatever mount it is you have. I'm going to put the scope on a rough estimated location here. I have a semi-automatic rifle here. For the most part, what we found is the ocular lens typically goes right around the charging handle area-ish. So I'm going to start off there. If you have a bolt action rifle, usually it's a little further back. So just keep that in mind where you're getting a little rough start here. So I'm going to mount it roughly right about where the charging handle is-ish. And just get it on somewhat snug. Just kind of finger tight these bolts a little bit. Not even really tightening them down at all. So you can still see the scope is pretty loose and I can move it around. I can manipulate it all I want. From here, I'm going to invite my buddy here, Justin, come on down. So what I'm going to have Justin do is he's going to simulate, this is his rifle, his scope, setup, etc. We're working on his gun. So what he's going to do is get down behind the rifle and get into a good prone position. So I recommend getting into a prone position when doing this because when you're standing and shooting, you have the ability to move your head back and forth very easily to adjust for your eye box. However, when you're in the prone position, unless you're built like E.T. or something like that, you don't have the ability to move your head back and forth all that easy. So this is why I recommend doing it here from the prone position, okay? So what Justin's going to do is he's going to get down behind the rifle, eyes closed, and get into his perfect shooting position using natural point of aim to the point where he's super comfortable. He can almost fall asleep behind the rifle. He's going to let me know when he's done with that.
Good to go.
Keep your eyes closed, don't open them, all right? So what I want you to do is when I say open your eyes, but do not move your head at all forward or back. You can go up and down all you want, but not forward or back. You got me?
Yep.
Cool. All right, go ahead and open up your eyes, just up and down, not forward, back, until you see through the glass. Let me know when you see.
I see it.
Now you probably see a bunch of shadowing, correct?
Yep.
All right, cool. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the scope back and forth until he sees a clear picture around the glass, the inner glass of the optic. Also, another thing that I highly recommend you do too is do this at the max magnification. So this is a 30 power scope. I'm going to put it on 30. The reason for that is it's way less forgiving too. If you have it on the lower power, it's way more forgiving when it comes to your eye box. Here, it's way less forgiving on the max power. So max power, I'm going to slide the scope back slowly until he tells me he sees a clear picture with no shadowing at all around the rings. Let me know when you get there, if you get there.
Right there.
Right there is good to go? Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right, now what I want you to do is close your eyes again, kind of shake it loose a little bit. Get down behind the gun, super comfortable. Again, keeping your eyes closed. Natural point of aim. Open your eyes. Don't move forward or back, just up or down. Do you still see that nice clear picture?
I do.
You do. Awesome. Perfect. So what I'll typically do is I'll take a pencil, something like that, a lead pencil, and I'll just put a little mark where the ring meets the scope so I have that as a reference. And he doesn't have to be behind the scope anymore. So you can get up and relax for a second. So for here, I see that the scope is set to where his eye box is nicely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to kind of tighten things down a little bit, literally just finger tight. I'm not going to go too crazy into this. Some tools you can see I got here. We've got the fat wrench, we've got the Borka set, we've got the fix-it sticks. All are great tool sets, so pick one that works best for you. I'm kind of using the fix-it sticks now, so I'm a big fan of those. All I'm going to do is just tighten these down a little bit, just literally finger tight. I don't want this sliding around too much. Once I meet any bit of tension, I stop. I'm not going too tight at all. So I still should be able to manipulate the scope a little bit. I think I went a little too tight. So I'm going to back things off just a smidge. That's a technical term, smidge. It's like a skosh. There we go. And again, I have that lead pencil line right here, so if I happen to shift it by accident, I can go right back to there pretty easily. So from here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to tighten down the actual mount to the rifle itself. So make sure you retain the information that come with the scope rings, because they'll tell you exactly what torque to put on them. So typically, more often than not, torque for your bolts that hold the scope rings onto your rifle, about 60, 65 inch-pounds, somewhere around there. It's inch-pounds, not foot-pounds. Don't confuse that. I'm going to lock this down using my fix-it stick set until I get some slippage. If you're using the fat wrench, I think fat wrench, as long as I think it's 3 clicks. So once you get 3 clicks, that's set down to the proper torque. Fix-it sticks is once you start, I get it like a quarter of a turn on slippage, and I'm good there. So I'm happy with that for now. So now what I want to do is level my scope. So I don't want my scope to be, my scope crosshairs, if you will, to be crooked. I want them nice and straight when it comes to the axis of the rifle itself. So the way I do that is basically I take a level, and I'm going to level the rifle first. So usually, if you're going to well-made rifle, your rail should be level, and it should be nice and flat when it comes to the rifle. So torque down your bipod, whichever one you have, and all I'm going to do is level the rifle. There it is. So rifle's level. I'm going to pick a flat spot on the scope itself. Typically, the top of the elevation turret was going to be a flat spot there. I rotate that until my bubble level shows that I'm even. And I'm just, again, referencing that lead pencil line that I put there just to make sure it's in the exact same spot. Double check the rifle, make sure everything's still level. So level and level, I'm happy with that. So from here, I now go back to my rings. I take my, again, your rings are typically going to be about 20 inch-pounds-ish, give or take, somewhere around there. I've got a 25 inch-pound, so we'll go with that. So from here, I'm going to start locking down the rings, the top of the rings now. So from here, much like you put your lug nuts on your car, I'm going to go in a star pattern. I'm going to start to torque those down just a little bit, going to just a little bit of tension first. All right, so once I've got them snugged up, all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go to my slippage points, 25 inch-pounds, or again, whatever your ring says to go to. And I'm going in that star pattern or X pattern, depending on how many lugs you have on there. So go down to 1 till it tightens up and I get some slippage. There we go, slippage, and I'm going to go in an X pattern here. So going to the other side on the bottom. There we go, slippage. Go back to this side on the bottom. Slippage. And then I go to this side. Slippage. Now, one thing that people don't typically get is, once I've torqued one side down and I get the slippage, I go to the other side, but now, because those 2 bolts are kind of on the same plane, I've now made the other one loose. So I'm going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth a couple more times until I'm satisfied that everything is equally torqued down to 25 inch-pounds. And again, repeat that process until I don't get any turning before the slippage, or if you're using the fat wrench, any turning before the clicking. And there we go. I'm pretty happy with that. So from here, what I'm going to have Justin do is hop on down behind the rifle again, because this is his gun. Eyes closed, please. Get super comfortable, natural point of aim. Close those eyes, cheaters. All right, when you're comfortable, open them up.
Looks good.
Looks good? All right, perfect. So from here, what we're going to do now is we're going to adjust the ocular lens. Think of the ocular lens as the same prescription as your eyeglasses if you wear eyeglasses or contacts, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put something, like usually a sheet of paper or something like that in front of the objective lens, so you can't really actually focus on stuff downrange. I want him purely focusing on the crosshairs or whatever reticle you have inside of there. He's going to close his eyes. When I say open him, he's going to look really quickly and look purely at the crosshairs and let me know when they look clear to him. And then he's going to close his eyes again, because your eyes shift focus very, very quickly to compensate for blurry pictures. So much like your eye doctor does, I'm going to ask him a whole bunch of times, is this better or worse? Is this better or worse? As I make adjustments. And I'm going basically until he says this is perfect. So go ahead and close your eyes real quick. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and open them up real quick. Look purely at the reticle. Let me know if it looks clear or blurry.
A little blurry.
All right, so close them. All right, try it again. Better or worse? Or no difference?
Worse.
Okay, close them. I'm going to go the other way now since he said worse. All right, go ahead. Better or worse?
Better. Looks
okay,
pretty good.
Looks pretty good. All right, so he said looks pretty good. I don't quite trust that. So I'm going to have him close his eyes again. I'm going to go a little further because who knows, it could be better. All right, try it again.
Yeah, that's better.
Better? Okay. I'm going to do it again. Close your eyes. I know this guy. Again?
Worse.
Worse. Okay, so now since he said worse, I'm going to go back. Close your eyes. Okay, again.
That's good right there.
That's good right there. Super clear. All right, close your eyes. Shake it loose. Get comfortable. Natural point of aim. Let me know what you got.
Good.
Clear? Now what I'm going to do is while he's up behind the gun, I'm going to run through the magnification from max to minimum. And he's going to let me know if everything retains clear, no shadowing or anything while I do that. How's it look?
Looks perfect.
All right, perfect. We're good, man. So he's good to go to the range. Zero it in. What I would recommend you do after you punch a couple rounds through the rifle, because recoil, etc., heat, who knows, some of these scope screws might lock out a little bit, might walk loose. So what I recommend is after you've shot a little bit, loosen it up, I would remove every single screw individually, apply a little bit of Loctite, put them back in, torque them down, but do that individually so you're not moving things around, if that makes sense. So hopefully this helps you out. We offer this exact practice here during our Precision Scope Rifle 1 class. We actually have you folks mount your own scopes during that class. So you don't have to come with everything pre-mounted. It's a good opportunity for you to do it the proper way the first time. So look us up, SigSauerAcademy.com, and hopefully we'll see you there.